Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. We're in Awayuki chapter 2, Rising Waves. And this man has just announced that he has intention of marrying Hinagiku, and Awayuki did not tell her about this whatsoever. He has come to check on it and found her in surprise. Anyways, let's get right into it. Engagement. You, Lord Yori? My composure was broken by the shock of the unexpected news. Lord Yori seemed to enjoy my reaction as he smirked. He teasingly narrowed his eyes at Awayuki.
ちゃんと伝えてあげなかったんだ。従者失格だね、Awayuki.
So he's automatically deemed unfit. Awayuki knew, meaning their talk the other day was about...
ちょっと彼に話があるんだよね。僕が優しく接してあげてるから、身分が違うのを忘れちゃったのかな。
I'm still really curious about their history. Lord Yori didn't stop smiling as he very purposefully tilted his head to the side.
これはちょっと不敬なんじゃない？ Awayuki。平民は平民らしく振る舞わないと。あの時は許してあげたけど、今回は僕と君だけの問題じゃない。君の主人の顔に泥を塗ったも同然だ。どう責任を取るつもりなのかな。
申し訳ありません。すべて俺の責任です。
My attendant gave no excuses and apologized with his head bowed deeply. Watching him, I couldn't stop myself from saying... Chapter 2. Okay. First we're gonna say, why did you tell Awayuki? I know, why didn't you just tell her? Why did you tell Awayuki in the first place? You could have told me directly.
君って大胆だね。
What?
察してほしいな。君の顔を見て伝えるのが恥ずかしかったんだって。
I think you're a liar. Overwhelmed your courage. You, my friend, are the boldest person in this entire series so far. I know, right? This is absolutely, positively a lie. I know, right? I managed to regain my composure before speaking again. Lord Yori, may I ask you to explain your proposal in detail?
いいよ。今日はもう家に帰るだけだから。
I know, he just came to you at dinner time. I felt some relief from Lord Yori's smiling acceptance of my request. Being careful not to let my unease show, I welcomed him into the mansion. Alright, we're gonna go back up from the top now. There we go. Alright, so we're gonna say it's my responsibility. Lord Yori stepped in front of Awayuki in an effort to protect him. The actions of my attendant are under the authority of their mistress and no other. Awayuki is not at fault. The responsibility lies with me.
姫。
I humbly apologize and ask your forgiveness for this misunderstanding. Bowed my head deeply. Like, you should see his face. And I raised it back up. My eyes met Lord Yori's as he gazed back to me in silence. I couldn't read what he was thinking through the look in his eyes. There was no interest, no application, not even disdain. But I didn't. Wait, I said application. No appreciation. There we go. What I did know was that his eyes contained an emotion in them unlike any other he had looked at me with. Oh, what emotion is that? Lord Yori, may I ask you to explain your proposal in detail?
いいよ。今日はもう家に帰るだけだから。
Alright, let's go back into the mansion. After leading Lord Yori inside, I found myself alone with him. He asked for my attendant to leave us, so Awayuki was waiting outside the room.
じゃあ、何も知らない君にもわかるように、最初から順序立てて話そうか。
If you would, please.
姫君は結婚適齢期でしょ？ むしろ、その年でまだ婚約者が決まってないのは珍しいくらい。
What Lord Yori said was true. It was often the case for a young noble woman to be engaged from childhood and be wed as soon as they became adults. But my parents have passed away. I've had to prioritize my responsibilities as head of the house over being wed in order to protect the family of the Eastern Fifth. That was why I had postponed any efforts towards marriage, which my uncle of the Northern Second agreed to as well. Your uncle? Wait a second. They're from the Northern Second, aren't they? Or are they the Southern Second? I think they're the Northern Second. Wait. Wait. If that really is her uncle, then these are her cousins. Like, I don't like that at all.
まあ、君は着手だからね。仮にもその年で当主と呼ばれるためには、相当な努力をしたんだろ
う。Huh? I was taken aback by the sudden compliment, which didn't seem to be intended as backhanded. This is so unlike Lord Yori.
でも、最近は執務の引き継ぎも順調に進んでるって聞いたよ。
Maybe I'm overthinking things, and her uncle's not the head of the Northern Second. Hopefully not, because if it is, I'm gonna have serious complications reading Lord Yori's route. We'll just go with the fact that I'm overcomplicating things and he's not the head. Do I hear that the transition has been going? Yeah.
家を継いだのなら、次は血を継がなければ。それが僕たち貴族の義務だ。わかるよね。女一人で家を切り盛りするのは大変だろ？何せ、君には頼れる家族がいないんだから。領区の件もいつまでも北寺のお方にばかり頼ってはいられないはずだ。
I have a feeling that she's mentioned this before. Whenever they went into her backstory, I'll have to reread that episode now and figure out if her uncle's the head. As Lord Yori continued, we're gonna say nothing first, but we're gonna say I have Awayuki. But I have Awayuki. Yeah, she's got family, see? I may no longer have any blood relations, but Awayuki supports me in everything I do with my work and my daily life. As I argued back at Lord Yori, he simply gazed at me and smiled.
頭が弱いのかな、姫君。確かに、役に立つ従者の存在は不可欠だ。でも、僕が言いたいのは、もちろんそういうことじゃない。
He spoke slowly as if I were a child.
従者が手伝えることなんて、たかが知れてる。あくまで雑用。君の代理にはなれない。平民の使用人じゃ、家人ほどの役割を担うことはできないって、わかるよね。
But that's... As I paused, thinking of what to say, Lord Yori continued. I have a feeling this is going to come up in the other part as well, but...
僕はさ、この年までそれなりに仕事一筋で頑張ってきたんだけど、出世のためにもそろそろ結婚しておけって上に言われちゃって。
It sounds like I could definitely go back now. So... Alright. We're going to say nothing. I couldn't say anything in response. What Lord Yori is saying is true. Not waiting for me to reply, Lord Yori continued in a somewhat gentle tone.
僕はさ、この年までそれなりに仕事一筋で頑張ってきたんだけど。
Ah, perfect timing.
出世のためにもそろそろ結婚しておけって上に言われちゃって。
Now that you mention it, how old are you, Lord Yori?
Awayukiの2つ上だよ。
Which would make him 28.
君のちょうど10歳上なのかな。これくらいの年の差は普通だと思うけど。
I had heard of such cases. My best friend, Lady Aoi, was wed to a partner with an age difference even greater than that.
僕は次男だから家を継ぐ必要はないし、当主の君に婿入りするのも問題ない。
I think he just wants power.
知っての通り、価格もそれなりだ。君の相手としては不足はないでしょ？
Well,
ああ、君の大事な仕事を奪う気はないよ。当主にしてくれとも言わない。僕は今の仕事が気に入ってるからね。領区の管理は君の好きに続けたらいい。
okay, maybe I'm just thinking unhighly of him. Or he could be lying. But him wanting to continue on as his military job, I forgot what it's called. Kudu something. I can see him wanting to continue that anyway.
でも、もし何か助けが必要になったら、配偶者として手を貸してあげる。
He seems so happy about this.
権力を傘に着て無理やり結婚なんてのは僕の趣味じゃないからさ。最終的な決断は君の意志に委ねるよ。でもまあ。
But, well, maybe you should. Unable to hide how stunned I was, I said nothing while Lord Yori smiled, observing me as he did.
お互いにとって悪い話じゃないと思う。ちょっと考えてみてほしいな。幻冬祭もあるし、このところ例の事件やらなんやらで、年内は僕の方も忙しいから。まあ、年明けまでに返事をもらえたら、それでいいよ。
So she has time to think about it at least. That isn't even 3 months from now. That's plenty of time to consider a decision, though. The time limit wasn't that far off. With the decision now in my hands, I felt my fingertips grow cold. 3 months is plenty of time to get acquainted more with Awayuki, right? Just before he left, Lord Yori stared at me, grinning as I remained silent.
ずいぶん思い詰めた顔をしてるね。僕と結婚するのがそんなに嫌なんだ。
You have ulterior motives, like we all knew this. I'm only surprised by the sudden nature of our discussion. I've only come to be acquainted with you recently, Lord Yori, so I don't know you very well as a person. There are plenty of families united by a couple that marry without seeing each other even once before. Considering that, Lord Yori was offering me several concessions as a noble. Lord Yori was offering me several concessions as a noble, such as waiting for my reply and letting me remain the family head. I knew that I would eventually marry someday, but I never thought about it in much detail. I'm not sure about how I feel now. This is also sudden. After gazing at me while I thought to myself, Lord Yori let out a tired sigh.
君、ちょっと重く受け止めすぎじゃない？まずは婚約から始まる話だよ。別に明日三々九度しようってわけじゃない。
I'm like, drink our 3 cups of sake. Okay, what does that mean? And a new groom and bride exchange drinks of sake at a marriage ceremony. And he's like, I just want to be engaged to you. We're not getting married tomorrow. Lord Yori.
ひとまず、そのより様っていうの、やめようか。
Call me by my first name, huh? No title.
そんなに遠慮しなくていいよってこと。君の家に婿入りすれば、価格は同じになるわけだしね。
Indeed, Yori. I nodded as I stewed in my own thoughts. He must have enjoyed my reply as his eyes narrowed in delight.
お互いのことを知るためにも、これからたまには時間を持とうか。
Considering some people don't even get to see their betrothed, like she said, and now he wants to court her to make her feel more comfortable. I don't know. I have mixed feelings. It sounds noble of him, but I still think he wants some. Huh?
とりあえず、 婚約は先のことだとしても、近いうちに僕の同伴者として、適当な宴席に出てもらおうかな。顔見せって大事なのはわかるよね。あちこちに根回しする必要もあるし。挨拶回りをするよりは、宴の席で一気に済ませちゃった方が楽だと思うよ。
I did feel that made sense, but it was just such a sudden proposal. It wasn't odd for nobles to be seen publicly together in that manner. But if I were to do that, even if we weren't engaged, everyone around us would essentially treat us as being engaged, and I'm sure it would be difficult to call it off.
今言われても返事しにくい？じゃあ、また改めて誘うから、準備しといて。
I'll invite you again later.
そうだ。僕の人となりが知りたいなら、Awayukiに聞いてみれば？
Yes, let's figure out what history you guys have.
君たちは良好な主従関係を築いてるようだし、きっと教えてくれると思うよ。ああ、ただそう見えてるだけで、話してもらえなかったら、ごめんね。その時は、僕に連絡してくれたら、僕が直接答えてあげる。
This sounds more like a taunt than anything else. I'm sure he'll tell you everything. Oh, but if he doesn't, feel free to come to me. Like, I could see Awayuki being hesitant to tell her something about him. He didn't even want to tell her that he wanted to marry her. Unable to say anything, I simply bowed deeply back at him. It was possible that he didn't care to pick up on my mood, but Lord Yori said nothing more and quietly left the Eastern Fifth. Why didn't you tell me right away that Yori had asked for my hand in marriage? After he left, I immediately asked Awayuki. She didn't use the word Lord. There had to be some sort of reason. Some clear, logical reason that made him decide it was better for me not to know. Anything that Awayuki does always seems to have some meaning to it. As I continued to convince myself of the idea, Awayuki replied in an unusually weak voice.
言いにくかった。
Huh? That's it?
ああ。すぐにでも伝えるべきだったのに、言えなかった。
Too awkward. Why?
より様の言う通り、従者失格だ。ただの市場で、理屈に合わない行動をとった。
Was this proposal to me really something so awkward for you to mention? But hesitating for a moment, Awayuki carefully chose his words.
本音を言えば、俺は、この縁談に反対したいと思ってる。あの人は、ちょっと、難のある男だし。けど、お前は断れる立場にないだろ。
Right. I couldn't refuse a request from a family of higher rank without a proper reason.
どうにもならないんだって思うと、どうしても切り出せなかった。本当は、だからこそできるだけ早く、伝えるべきだったのに。申し訳ありませんでした、姫。どんな処罰もお受けします。
Awayuki's expression as he apologized wasn't one of sadness, but it seemed more like he was hurt. You were worried about me, right, Awayuki? I'm happy about that. That's why I forgive you. Thank you, Awayuki.
姫。
What do you mean when you say he could be problematic? I can see his personality is just plain bad. Considering how Awayuki phrased it, I don't think that was all there was to it. How do you and Yori know each other anyway? After I asked my question, I remembered. If I had wanted to wait until Awayuki brought it up himself, just then, I felt the air suddenly grow cold. Oh. His expression didn't change drastically, but I had known Awayuki for so long that I just knew that it was something I shouldn't have asked. Unable to move, Awayuki gave me a faint smile.
過去のことは過去のこと。もう終わった話だ。
No longer relevant. I guess you have to go ask him.
今の俺はひなぎくのもの。だろ？違うか？
I wonder if he served his family in the past. No, you are. Maybe he served his family in the past and was dismissed for something he didn't do right. You're my Awayuki.
だろ？お前に拾われる前の話なんて気にしなくていい。俺も、もう忘れてる。
But you haven't. You know, right?
それより疲れたろ。甘いものを用意してある。プディングが食べたいって言ってたよな。
Changing the subject. You'll make some.
ああ。食欲がないようなら、明日。
No, I'll have some. I actually am feeling tired, so I'd like something sweet.
そうか。
Awayuki smiled gently and left the living room to prepare it. What is it? Why won't you tell us? The eventful night ended and morning followed. I peered from the corner of the hallway, observing Awayuki. You noticed.
ひなぎく。
Oh, his little smile.
昨日のことは気にしてない。
Awayuki unexpectedly allowed me to have the sweets the late last night. But when I returned to my room afterwards, I just ruminated over the same thing over and over and didn't get much sleep. It must be something serious for Awayuki to look like that. I was just going to say something. So we're probably not going to learn anything about Lord Yori in this one, only because in the walkthroughs, he's listed as 4th, I think. And the reason why he's listed as 4th is because he felt like the recommended order, I don't know who was recommended by, like the To Know or another viewer, the recommended order of putting him 3rd was going to reveal too many spoilers too fast, and so Yori was put 4th, which means we're probably not going to learn anything from Awayuki in this. We're just going to be left wondering about him. Which upsets me. I want to know more. Whatever, it's fine. I asked a really insensitive question.
ほら、こっち来い。取って食いはしないから、そう怖がるな。
It's not insensitive. I mean, I don't know what kind of manners there is between attendants and head of the families, but she just asked how he knew him. What's wrong about asking about their past?
おいで、ひなぎく。
She takes one hesitant step. 2 hesitant steps. Yuki couldn't help but laugh as he watched me inch forward every time he called me out.
本当に変わらないな、姫は。
It's like coaxing a scared puppy out of a corner. There's nothing to laugh about. He must have found it considerably funny since there were tears in his eyes.
だって、子供の頃とあんまり同じ行動をするから。
Okay, hold on. We can figure out how old they are, right? 2 years. So he's 8 years older than her. I have to go back and see whenever I was guessing how old he was. I'm like, there has to be a considerable age differences. I think I said 5 or 6 years, but 8 years. So yeah. So whenever he refers to her as a child, he was probably a teenager back then.
昔からそうだよな。花瓶割ったり、屋根から落ちたりするたびに隠れて。そのくせ、俺の様子を伺いながら少しずつ近寄ってきてさ。
I had always felt terribly guilty about my mistakes, so I hardly considered it a laughing matter. But I also felt more at ease seeing Awayuki's amused reaction to my usual behavior. Listen, Awayuki.
Hmm?
I'm still really worried about the incidents that have been happening around the city. So in the afternoon, I'll be going out for as long as possible to gather more information. Would you come with me, Awayuki?
構わないけど。
He looked at me as if he didn't expect me to ask, and though it was a bit embarrassing, I explained myself. You told me, remember, to depend on you if anything were to happen. So, is that okay?
ダメなわけないだろ。姫の望みとあらば、何でも聞いてやる。
What happened to their investigation in the red light district, entertainment district? Yori told them to go investigate something, and then that was in the common route, and then as soon as we got into Awayuki's, it just died. Not sure. I'm not sure if that's coming back or not. Thank you, Awayuki. I was happy that he accepted my request so readily. He gazed at me as a grin broke across my face.
それより、昨日から気になってたんだが、ヨリさんっていうのはなんだ?
He did notice. Oh, he told me not to call him Lord Yori, that's why.
へえ。
He was not amused. What's wrong? Are you upset, Awayuki?
そうじゃない。お前が価格の差を忘れてるのかと思って焦っただけ。
I mean, I'm still afraid of addressing him without honorifics, but I thought it would be rude to refuse his request, so I had to.
はいはい。
Awayuki's gratitude in how he dismissed to be didn't seem different from usual, but it did feel as if something was disturbing him whenever the topic of Yori came up. I suppose it's fine if he doesn't want to talk about his relationship with Yori, but I feel a bit lonely knowing that he's hiding something from me. I'm sure he'll tell you something. He's feeling protective of you. That afternoon, I stopped by the Hinagiku with Awayuki, and we went with Yashiro and Tsuyukusa to ask around about any recent incidents.
ここだけの話ですけど、人が燃えたなんて噂があって。
It's definitely not rumors, it's true. Was that in the 9th Division?
いえ、確か花町の南側で起きたって聞きましたけど。
Oh, there we go. Maybe we'll go back there. I see. Thank you for letting me know.
いいえ、おひいさまにはごひいきにしていただいてますから。
After walking around questioning several people, we took a break to settle into a tea room in the central district. Yori was right about how it would be difficult to stop rumors from spreading. There was talk of people suddenly bursting into flames across Itehari. It was surprising how quickly speculation spread as if it were the truth.
その心理はわかる気がするよ。凄惨な事件の噂を聞くと、恐怖や不安から他の人にも共有したくなるんだよね。
信じられないような話だからこそ余計に広がってるんだと思うよ。話の種にって。
True. I let out a sigh and looked down at a loss for how to proceed. My eyes fell onto the red bean mochi cake right in front of me, so I picked up my kurumoji and cut off a piece. What is that? Knife? A thin wooden pick used for cutting off soft Japanese sweets.
姫、それ、結構大きくないか?
He's chastising her again. Huh?
さっきも聞き込みがてら買い食いしただろ。それは半分もらっておく。
I'll take half of that. Ah, a chunk of mochi disappeared from my plate at once.
Awayuki、空腹なのか？俺のでよければ分けるけど。
I don't think it's about being hungry.
違う。これ以上食べさせると夕食が入らない。
I want to share with a boy.
姫の栄養管理に支障が出る。
Awayuki brought the conversation back on topic without looking at Yashiro. I didn't even look at him.
同じような事件が立て続けに起きてるんだ。噂が立たない方がおかしい。
Back to the topic at hand. True. After asking around, we came to understand that they had happened throughout Itehari. There were as many fatalities as there were incidents. I felt my heart sinking over that fact. The victims were found in the central and outer districts, while there seemed to be no cases within the castle district.
黒鶴もそれなりに頑張ってるんだろうけど、ま、さすがに街の様子もいつもと違うね。
There we go, Kurozuru. That's the word I was thinking of. I thought so too, it seemed quiet. We were the only guests at the tea room as well. Although it was relatively hidden away and known only to some locals, it was unusual for it to be so empty.
偶然じゃないか？むしろ手張りは日に日に騒がしくなっていると思うけど。
Because the Lantern Festival is also coming up. The Lantern Festival took place after Fumizuki and was the biggest celebration of the year. I felt like it was livelier in past years around this time.
おう、うん。そういえばそうだったね。
He guesses because he doesn't remember.
続けていいか？話を聞かせてくれた人たちの反応だが、この事件が天変地異か何かの前触れじゃないかと怯える声が多い。それから大樹様による天罰じゃないかという推測も何度か耳にした。
You're right. How the people who burned were corrupt, how the great Taiju was delivering his judgment onto them.
まさか。あるわけないよんなこと。秋津三神なんて言われてるけど、ただの人間だし。
Living God, it is believed that the great Taiju is a god who has chosen to take human form. Because of this, he is considered a being who is both human and divine at the same time.
俺は大樹様が不思議な力を持っているって信じちゃう気持ちも少しわかるな。そもそも空中に存在する都市というだけでおとぎ話みたいなものだよ。この街が空に浮いているのは蒸気機関によるものだと頭では理解していても、街を浮かべるだけの神通力は持っていると言われたら納得してしまうよね。
Awayuki hates anyone thinking outside of Itehari. Awayuki has something the matter.
そうだな。そろそろはっきりさせておいた方がいいか。
Don't make her curious. Awayuki locked eyes with Yashiro.
お前は本当に伊手張りの住民なのか？
Oh?
外の人間なんじゃないのか？
Yashiro's expression remained unchanged as he stayed silent in response to the sudden question.
お前はどうもこの町で暮らす者らしくない言い回しをすることがある。
I know, because he's curious about how the city is floating and everyone else just accepts it.
まるで伊手張りのことを人事みたいに俯瞰で喋るとでも言うのかな。どれもこの町に生きる人間であれば出ないような言葉だ。
Awayuki continued with unwavering certainty.
正直最初から違和感はあった。社が仕込み杖を持っていることも、姫を襲った男を迎撃したということも。
Trick Kane, I haven't seen that yet.
それは伊手張りの普通の人間にはできないことだ。
Oh yeah, I know, right? Like, no one's trained in combat besides like some nobles for formalities, they said, right? So no one's trained in combat, but he is.
ああ。
And Tsuyakusa doesn't care. Tsuyakusa quietly groaned as he knitted his brow. It was already unbelievable that an attacker had appeared out of nowhere, but perhaps even more so that Yashiro could fight him off the way he did.
この町の人間は誰しも暴力に対して生理的な嫌悪感が強い。人が襲われていたとしても、とっさに助けに入ることなんてできないんだ。
Unable to find his next words, Yashiro's eyes wandered, then landed on me as if asking for help. Meeting his gaze, I said... Yashiro's uncomfortable. We're gonna say that first because it's I have to agree. I mean, yeah, but why is he not defending himself with amnesia? Does he actually remember more than he's letting on? Yashiro's uncomfortable. Wait, Awayuki, you're making Yashiro uncomfortable. What's gotten into you all of a sudden?
別に、突然ってわけじゃない。今まで言及しなかったのは、社が何者であれ、本当に記憶を失ってるんだとしたら悪いと思ったからだ。
Meaning, Awayuki doesn't think he has amnesia.
けど今、Itehariでは何かが起こっている。少なくとも、俺たちがこれまで生きてきた中ではなかったようなことが。それは、Hinagikuにも危険が迫る可能性があるってことだ。身近なところに不穏な目があるなら、早めに積んでおきたい。だから、お前に対する違和感も積み重なった以上、そろそろはっきりさせたくてな。
Awayuki's tone was quiet, but I could feel the tension in the air that stung my skin. There was a long moment of suffocating silence. Tsukusa broke with a sigh. Okay, we could probably go back up now. We're gonna say, I have to agree. I admit, I have to agree with him.
姫様まで。
Yashiro, you have that cane sword, right? But here in Itehari, weapons are mostly decorative. The only ones who can use them are those trained at the Shikan Academy, like the Kurozoru and the Great Taiju Kinji. You've been caught. Yashiro sat in uncomfortable silence as he listened to me. You noticed it too, right, Awayuki? And that's why you led him on.
うちの姫は抜けてるように見えて、たまに鋭いな。偉い偉い。
Can't you praise me more normally? Normally, what did you say? I'm impressed. After smiling at my reaction, Awayuki turned his gaze back to Yashiro.
平民での金次なんてまずいないし、服装と年齢から考えて、最初は平民出身の黒鶴なんだろうかと思った。
Come to think of it, Awayuki, we did advise him to go to the Kurozoru from the beginning. The Kurozoru was one option to turn to, but we could have also gone to the Ryue while keeping Yashiro hidden at home.
けど、何度か頼様と顔を合わせてるのに、向こうは社を知ってる気配がない。だから、怪しいと思ってた。
頼様は、平民の顔は覚えていないんじゃ。
いや、たとえ口でそう言ったとしても、覚えてる。
I understood what Awayuki was talking about. It was one of the ways Yori could be tricky to deal with.
今まで言及しなかったのは、社が何者であれ、本当に記憶を失ってるんだとしたら悪いと思ったからだ。けど今、Itehariでは何かが起こっている。少なくとも、俺たちがこれまで生きてきた中ではなかったようなことが。それは、Hinagikuにも危険が迫る可能性があるってことだ。身近なところに不穏な目があるなら、早めに積んでおきたい。だから、お前に対する違和感も積み重なった以上、そろそろはっきりさせたくてな。
Awayuki's tone was quiet, but I could feel a tension in the air that stung my skin. There was a long moment of suffocating silence, which Tsukusa finally broke with a sigh.
ま、相手が悪かったよね。
Oh, did Tsukusa find out? Did Yashiro tell him?
それに社の気が緩んでたのもある。最初の頃はもっと気をつけてたじゃん。あんたなりに。
Also, he's talking to him very familiar, like he actually knows him. Wait, then Tsukusa, did you...
この話は外でするようなもんじゃないよ。 食べ終わったら家に戻って、続きはそれから。淡雪もそれでいいよね。
はい。
Tsuyakusa spoke in an unusual casual demeanor, and Awayuki immediately nodded back. I know, and he was reluctant to help him at first, but I think he was just pretending to help the situation. Possibly. I guess we'll find out in a minute. We got back to the Hanagetsudo, and Yashiro began to openly tell the truth.
淡雪の言った通り、俺は銀湾から来た人間だ。記憶喪失というのも、この町に馴染むための嘘。
Well, at least he doesn't actually have amnesia. I'm not a huge amnesia trope kind of reader. It makes things complicated to me anyway. Capital Toei. You knew about this, Tsuyakusa.
最初からってわけじゃないけどね。一緒に暮らしてるうちに、さすがにちょっと変だなって感じることも増えてったし。
むしろ、記憶喪失なんて無茶苦茶な話、よく信じてくれたよね。
I believed it completely.
めったにないとはいえ、ほら、あるとこにはあるって言うじゃん。
精神に強い負荷がかかると、前後の記憶が曖昧になることがあると聞きます。
うん。姫様はともかく、露草と淡雪がなんだかんだ信じてくれたのは意外だった。運が良かったというか、意外と隙があるんだなって思ったよ。
Awayuki's not unguarded. He was guarded against you from the beginning.
うん。
What does he mean by assumed as much from me? Does he really mean that? You come off as gullible? Looking at the rest of us in our silence, Yashiro smiled.
まあ、それで、姫様のおかげで守備よく行動の拠点を手に入れることができた。けど、それだけじゃなくて、露草の作業場に、Itehariでは禁書扱いされている。銀腕の書物が置かれているのに気づいたんだ。
Banned literature. Itehari's banned books are decided by the Ryue for the purpose of censorship. They include records of the surface, especially those that paint it in a favorable light. So, manuscripts from Ginwan. So, places from the surface, which probably automatically bans them. I wonder if it makes Itehari look bad in those manuscripts.
それで露草は銀腕に興味を持っていると考えて、一か八か素性を明かした。少し危険な賭けだったけどね。
Not only a bit of a risky gamble, but the riskiest thing he could ever say. For someone from Ginwan to be in Itehari, if he had told the wrong person, he could have been brought before the Kodozuru right there and then.
銀腕に興味がないと言えば嘘になるし、八代は普通にうちの雑用を手伝ってくれたし。この町の常識くらいなら教えてもいいよって。
うん。代わりに俺も、銀腕のことで聞きたいことがあったら、何でも話すって条件で。
Though I was still surprised by the sudden truth, I asked a question. Why did you come to Itehari?
調査のためだよ。Itehariがどういう町で、どんな技術を持っていて、どんな考え方をする人たちが暮らしているのか。それをこの目で一定期間、確かめるため。
Yashiro didn't seem to be hiding anything and continued his reply.
この町は、今も銀腕をはじめとした東映の各都市と交易を続けている。けどその内情が地上の町まで聞こえてくることはない。自国の都市とはいえ、独自の発展を遂げ、 胎児を中心に自治を敷くイテハリは、もはや独立した小国家と言える。
He smiled as he casually divulged what must have been confidential information.
東映を滑る帝にとっては、長年この町は不安の種だった。それで東映の朝廷は、患者を差し向けることにしたんだ。
Oh, are you a spy? The Imperial Court.
ああ、東映の政府機関っていうのかな。そういうものだよ。
いてはりでいう竜英だね。
I see. I nodded in understanding, but Awayuki asked him another question with a stern expression.
ヒナギクと接触したのは何か目的があってのことだったのか。
それは本当に偶然だよ。まあ、住民の誰かと親しくなれないかと思っていたところだったから。姫様を助けて恩を売ろうくらいの下心はあったけどね。でもまさか、あんなに手厚くしてくれるとは夢にも思わなかったよ。
Awayuki's expression remained unchanged after hearing Yashiro's reply as he continued to question him.
ヒナギクを害する狙いはないんだな。
Yashiro continued to smile and reply immediately.
もちろん。それに、俺だけが特別なわけじゃないよ。
There are more spies in here?
銀腕の患者がいてはりに入り込むのは、俺が初めてというわけじゃない。昔から定期的に調べていたそうだから。
Is that really true?
ああ。けど彼らはこの町で、特に問題は起こしていないだろ。
There were people from the outside world here in Itehari. I froze at such an unbelievable discovery.
そもそもいてはりと銀腕との関係はずっと危ういってか。今はギリギリの均衡を保ってるけど。
露草様。
あ、うん。ごめん。
He said, Lord? What? Who are you, Chiyokusa? The reason Awayuki cut Chiyokusa off was because he didn't want me to hear about that topic. But I want to know more about that relationship between Itehari and Genwan.
今日は長いしすぎた。帰ります。
Everyone's leaving her in the dark. She's just gonna go out and find her own answers. You guys should probably tell her something. Tsukusa knows stuff. Awayuki knows stuff. There's literally a person from Genwan. I mean, she's gonna find what she wants eventually. Wait, Awayuki, I want to hear more of what Yashiro has to say.
ダメだ。彼らの迷惑になる。だいたいもう日が暮れるし。
じゃあ明日また来たらその時に話そうよ。
Awayuki's gonna say no. Really?
ああ。露草もいいだろ。
まあ明日なら仕事も落ち着いてるし、大丈夫だよ俺は。ひなぎくこそ都合は？
Yes, I'll do my best to get my work finished in the morning.
そっか。じゃあ昼時においでよ。てんやものでも取っておくから。
I'm surprised he's being quiet about it. I'm so excited, thank you. Grr. That's all he says. That's funny. Even after we got back, it looked like there was still something on Awayuki's mind. After dinner, he hardly looked at me and barely spoke. It made it difficult to talk to him.
それじゃあ、おやすみ、姫。
After I got ready for bed and climbed in, Awayuki turned off the lights. Wait, Awayuki. I stopped him just as he was about to leave my room. Do you think going to Hanagetsu tomorrow isn't a good idea?
なんでそう思った？
I just had a feeling.
うちの姫が鋭いのはたまにだな。残念だけど、今回は外れだ。
That's funny. You're sharp only sometimes, and you're wrong this time. He praised me for being sharp back at the tea room, but this time, Awayuki rejected my claim with a faint smile. The room was dark, so I couldn't see much of his face, but I feel like Awayuki is lying.
別になんとも思ってない。思ってたとしても、従者が主人の行動を縛れるわけもないしな。
I don't think Awayuki would lie to me, but is it really true that this doesn't bother him? He had always been forthcoming about his disapproval on various things, and I even followed his guidance in some cases. It wasn't as though one of us was always giving in to the other. But...
それより、明日は早く仕事を片付けるんだろ？あれこれ考えてないで早く寝ろ。じゃあ、おやすみ。
Good night.
憧れるなとは言わない。ただ、隠してほしい。お前を守るために。
Curiosity about the outside world, the surface, was considered fairly odd in Itehari. To be honest, if someone were to discuss that interest aloud, they would be considered crazy. Awayuki doesn't have any particular interest in the surface either, I know that, but... Maybe he's from the surface. Maybe everyone's from the surface. Despite his cautioning me against it, I did believe that he accepted my admiration of the outside world. That was why. If Awayuki really doesn't want me to hear more about Genwan, that makes me a bit sad. As that thought lingered in my head, I closed my eyes in anticipation of tomorrow. Though a part of me wanted to rest, I didn't manage to sleep well. After the long night had passed, I focused on my work like usual, no, even more than usual. I made sure to take care of all the urgent business by noon, then headed out to town in high spirits with Awayuki at my side. The destination, of course, was Hinagiku. Is there a but? Okay. This looks incredible. Tsuyuki's order for lunch was a combination of autumn vegetable tempura, and soba noodles. We hardly ever did such a thing at home, so it was exciting to enjoy a meal like this. It has calories, doesn't it? During our meal, Yashiro told me about various things I had never heard of before. For example... Huh? So you hit as part of a trade convoy to get through the gate. What's the gate? A trading post at the bottom of the abyss. It is the only place that connects Itehari to the surface. Oh, really? So he came out of the abyss? Oh my goodness, people can do that.
そう。思っていたよりずっと寒くてね。凍え死ぬかと思ったよ。
Coming out of the abyss is probably an unheard of thing in Itehari. Oh, right. Oh, that's true. It is cold around the Seki. Seki. I said that wrong. Whatever, it's fine. Because the city was so high up, it would normally be cold throughout the year. But by harnessing the steam expelled by the machinery that allowed Itehari to stay afloat, our city was kept at a pleasant temperature. Genwan is called the capital of the water, right? How much water is there?
説明が難しいんだけど、町のほとんどが水なんだよ。水の上に町が立っているというのかな。
I can hardly even picture that.
道のほとんどが水路だから、あちこちに橋がかかっているんだ。けど、徒歩では行けない場所も多くてね。小舟を使って移動するんだよ。
I would like to live in a place like that. Amazing. I couldn't help but exclaim in awe. So then about Genwan's...
姫、そんな矢継ぎ早に聞いたら迷惑だろ。もうちょっと遠慮しろ。
He's disguising it as manners, but he just doesn't want her to get too curious. I just know it. At this slight reproach, I said, Just a few more. I'm gonna say that first. Just a few more. Awayuki was just about to address me more sternly when Tsuyakusa intervened.
しょうがないよ。こうなると止まらないじゃん、この子って。淡雪もさ、今日だけは多めに見てあげたら。こんな機会めったにないんだし。
Seeing him defend her like that is cute.
わかりました。
It took everything he had to agree. However reluctant Awayuki appeared, his acceptance gave me a sigh of relief. I turned back to Yashiro and asked him another question, this time exercising a bit more self-restraint. So, well, my next question is... He just goes on and on. Thank you, Yashiro. It was so fun learning about everything.
姫様は銀腕に興味があるんだね。こんなに質問攻めにされるなんて思っていなかったよ。
Sorry, but I appreciate that you answered them for me. I honestly wanted to ask him more, but even I started feeling that like it was a bit too much. On top of that, I noticed the grimace on Awayuki's face deepening, so I decided to politely wrap up the conversation. Buddy.
正直、今まで社のことを信用していいのか決めかねていた。
Okay, we're gonna say, you're right, Awayuki. Sorry, you're right, Awayuki. I just got so excited.
俺は別に気にしないけど。
いや、うちの姫が迷惑をかけて申し訳ない。
Awayuki seemed to be more at ease after my apology. Maybe it was just in my imagination, but his expression looked much brighter now.
俺も銀腕には興味があるから、また時間のある時に話を聞かせてくれ。
Oh. Yashiro replied with a smile at Awayuki, who didn't actually seem interested despite his courteous remark. Oh, really?
もちろん構わないよ。やっと隠し事をせずに済むようになって、俺もほっとしているし。
But if he's here on a mission, I'm sure there's still more that he can't tell us. He must have been careful to keep those secrets hidden while he spoke with all of us today.
正直、今まで社のことを信用していいのか決めかねていた。けど、露草様はうちの姫の絶対的な味方だ。その露草様が信用した相手なら、少なくとも姫に害を与えることはないと判断した。
ま、外の人間なんてそれだけで不穏分子じゃん。淡雪が警戒するのも当然だよ。
利害が一致してる限り、手を組みたいというのも本音です。うちの姫の味方は、多い方がいい。
その言葉は嘘じゃないよね。わかるよ。
Yashiro smiled, seemingly unoffended.
本当の信頼を得られるように頑張るよ。俺は、決められた期間内はItehariにとどまらないといけない。その間黒鶴に目をつけられると困るから、人体発火事件の調査もきちんとやるつもり。
Then let's work together. If you do encounter any problems, I hope you'll reach out to me. I can help you.
そう気持ちは嬉しいけど。
Yashiro smiled nervously and looked towards Awayuki.
姫
But
が望むなら、俺も従う。
there you go. You have his approval too.
露草様の補助があるとはいえ、銀腕の人間がItehariで動くには不自由もあるだろう。とはいえ、貴族の姫と頻繁に接触するのは、かえって社が怪しまれる原因になりかねない。何かあれば、姫じゃなくてまずは俺に言ってくれ。
Yashiro blinked in surprise, but eventually agreed.
そうだね。うん。ありがとう。
Once we had finished talking... Oh? I looked towards the sound of the opening door to see a man who seemed to be a customer appeared inside. Oh?
なあ、つゆくさ。ちょっといいか。急ぎの頼みがある。
I bet he overheard everything. Alright. Someone barged in and said, "You got a minute, have something urgent to ask you."
ああ。実は26区の通りなんだが。
Uh-oh. It just left off. What happened? I already knew it wasn't going to be a cliffhanger because there's one more choice left, so I knew it was going to go on. This regular customer of the Hinagiku explained that there was something odd about the lanterns in the 26th division recently. A good friend of his was having trouble with them and asked if Tsuyakusa could check them out. Although Tsuyakusa hesitated, after some negotiating, it was decided that he would go repair them. And although the sun was starting to set, we decided to go with him as well. This sounds like a trap. And although the sun was setting.
お前に手伝えることがあるともわからないし、素直に帰った方が邪魔にならなかったんじゃないか?
It looks like they're in the entertainment district too. That may be true, but we need more. That may be true, but we need more people to help, right, Tsuyakusa? Tsuyakusa, who was walking beside me, nodded right away after I asked for his support.
それに、俺はあんたと一緒にいるの好きだし。
He's so cute. He likes being around her. He's said this multiple times. Thanks, Tsuyakusa. You know I like being around you too. Tsuyakusa and I smiled at each other. Grr. I like his growling. It's so funny. He just expresses his discomfort through his growl. I don't know why I like it. I just do. Awayuki gently grabbed my shoulder, pulling me away from Tsuyakusa and placing me beside himself. Awayuki?
そうなんだ。
He just had a revelation. He's not just her attendant, he has a crush on her. And she's as clueless as ever.
あれじゃないか?
I read that totally wrong. I read that, are you one of those? I'm like, one of those what? Possessive types? Probably not, but... I looked in the direction Yashiro was pointing and saw some lanterns along the road weakly flickering in the light.
結構数が多いね。やるか。
Tsuyakusa rolled his shoulders to warm himself up, then opened the lid of his toolbox. Yashiro set up a platform to stand on, which Awayuki held to support, and I handed off the tools. About 1 hour passed as we worked. That's a glossary term. About 2 hours in modern time. Okay, that's why. I'm like,
これで最後。
As Tsuyakusa connected the last one, the lantern regained its original glow. Alright, great work, Tsuyakusa. I couldn't help but grin from the pleasant sense of accomplishment. After finishing our work, we were cleaning up the tools to head home before the sun went down.
おや、こんなところに皆様お揃いで。
I know, the info broker is here. A boy rushed towards us with a smile on his face.
もしやここらの街灯を修理して。半月堂さんも隅に置けません。ご立派です。せっかく26組んだりまで来たついでに、もう一つ直していきませんかね。
Ulterior motives. He's like, no. Although he groaned unwillingly, he took a moment to glance at the rest of us before giving his reply.
まあついでだし、話を聞くだけ聞いてもいいよ。
As Tsuyakusa replied with a weary sigh, a beaming smile appeared across Saku's face. He's like, yes. Oh? The alley where Saku brought us was filled with a white mist.
この辺りは死の一族の管理が追いついてないみたいだな。
Man of wisdom. I forgot who that was. Inside the pipes that ran throughout all of Itehari flowed hot steam. This was what kept the city at a constant temperature. But it seems something peculiar must have happened here, as the pipes occasionally spewed out an angry burst of steam.
弁がいかれたのかな。ケーブルの接続部も念のため確認するとして。
説明するだけしてすぐに行ってしまったね、あの子供。逃げ足が速いというか。
調子いいんだよ、サクは。
Tsukusa seemed to resign himself to exasperation, but he quickly focused onto the task at hand.
前にも似たようなものを直したことがあるし、すぐ片付けるよ。ああ、わかってると思うけど、配管から吹き出す蒸気は高温だから注意して。特に、ヒナギクはくれぐれも近づかないように。直に浴びたら皮膚が焼けるからね。
Got it. After cautioning me, Tsukusa headed into the mist without hesitation. I hope he'll be alright. As I stood there fidgeting nervously, Yashiro grinned.
つゆくさってからくりの仕事は選ぶのに、雑用みたいな頼まれ事は何でも請け負うのが面白いよね。
That's because Tsukusa's a surprisingly caring person.
うん。小銭を稼ぎたいのも本心だろうけど、たくさんつてを作りたいみたいだよ。今でも十分にあるような気もするけどね。いろんな知り合いがいるみたいだし。
I wonder if he wants to make Hanagetsu bigger.
まあ、つゆくさ様も、いろいろと考えることがあるんだろ
う。ヤシロ、ちょっとこっち来て。
お呼びだ。ちょっと行ってくるよ。
Yashiro casually responded as he left us and disappeared into the mist. After only a moment, I could hear the voices from within the white fog.
大丈夫かな？俺、やけどしない？
正面に立たなければ死なないよ。多分。まあ、ちょっと暑いかもだけど。
Probably.
そこのパイプ緩んでるから締め直して。俺こっち押さえてる。
ここ？うん。こう？ああ、こっちか。
This is making me so nervous.
つゆくさ、ちょっと見てくれる？言われた通りにしたんだけど、ここ良くない気がするな。
いや、言われた通りにしたなら良くないはずな。ダメじゃん。
Oh. Immediately after Tsukusa's foreboding sigh, steam began to spew out from the narrow alley more violently than ever. Sooner than I could even scream.
姫!
Oh my goodness. I was wondering if we were going to get a screenshot.
大丈夫か?
Awayuki used his body to shield me to protect me from the steam. I felt so safe and at ease to how quickly my attendant acted to the situation, but... Oh? Is he going to get hurt? Oh. I accidentally hit the B button. I was pulled into him with my face practically buried into his chest. My head was spinning from how close he was. Well, Awayuki's always been a dependable attendant, and he's held me so many times since I was little. This isn't any different from back...
姫.
Well, at least he didn't get burned. I was really worried about him for a minute. This is completely different from back then. She's trying to convince herself. Nestled against him like this, I could tell his body was built completely different from mine. And while it was obvious that Awayuki was a man, this made me even more apparent. And while it was obvious that Awayuki was a man, this made it even more apparent to me. As I remained in a flustered state, the other two seemed to have fixed to the pipe. I looked to see the steam slowly dissipating. I'm alright now.
そうか。なら、いい。
I fidgeted a little, and Awayuki seemed to pick up on what I wanted, slowly letting go of my hand? Oh, I thought he's holding your head, though. After waiting for the others to finish the repairs, we all headed to our respective homes. As we walked down the road to the mansion, I found myself strangely nervous. What had just happened was still on my mind, and the silence between us, which had never bothered me before, made me even more nervous. But today was fun, wasn't it?
楽しかった
I hope the topic was a safe one to bring up, but Awayuki raised an eyebrow. Yes, like fixing the lanterns with everyone and learning so much about Genwon from Yashiro. That steam earlier did scare me, but you saved me, Awayuki, and Suyakusa fixed the leak right away. I pretended like it wasn't a big deal, in part to dismiss the awkwardness I felt, but the line between Awayuki's brows grew even deeper.
間に合ったから良かったようなものの、一歩間違えたらどうなってたか。あんなの楽しいで済まさないでくれ。社のことも、次からはもっと自重しろ。
But
お前が地上に興味があるのは知ってる。けど、表で言うなって、今まで何度も言ってきただろ。
you've told me it since I was a child. I haven't forgotten at all.
どうだかな。
The tone of his voice felt somewhat thorny to me, as if he was feeling more sensitive about things than usual.
露草様はまだしも、社なんて最近知り合ったばかりだっていうのに。外の人間だって分かった途端に懐きすぎだ。せっかく、当主として独り立ちしようと頑張ってる最中なのに。そんなことで自分の足を引っ張ってどうする？見たことのないものに憧れを持つのもわかるけど、結婚の話も出てるんだ。そろそろ大人に。
I know. I shouted at Awayuki as it was too painful to continue listening in silence. I'm not just focused on the surface, I'm making sure to work as hard as the family head. What about you, Awayuki? Did you forget your promise that when I grew up... The voice stopped right there. Oh? What was his promise? I couldn't continue with what I wanted to say. Awayuki must have been startled by my anger, or perhaps it was something else. I'm trying to assess the situation. So he's nagging her, saying, "Don't get close to him. He's an outsider." I think this is just him being protective of her, as a means of trying to hide his feelings, because you can tell that he's getting closer to her. She is definitely changing how she sees him. And I think his nagging just pushed her to a point to where she wants him to be more honest. I'm thinking maybe she's trying to be more honest with herself. But he swallowed his breath and stayed silent. And then, the awkwardness still hanging between us, we returned home without another word. What did he promise? Did you forget our promise that when I grew up... Probably something about staying with her. I don't know. That night, I was alone in my room. I thought over a memory of the past. Oh, do we get to listen to it? I had always longed to see the outside world since I was little. I could hardly remember when it began. I didn't care what any of the adults told me. I wanted to go to the outside world. I wanted to be able to express how much I liked it. Awayuki scolded me so many times for that.
姫が気にしなくても、俺が嫌なんだ。お前のことを悪く言わせたくない。
You really mind it, Awayuki.
ああ。だから姫、俺のために。 その気持ちを秘密にしてくれないか。従者の願いを叶えるのは主人の役目だって言ってたもんな。もし姫が俺の願いを叶えてくれるなら、代わりに。
No, tell us, please. The promise he made back then was such a precious memory to me. I'm sure Awayuki's forgotten it by now. Why would you say it? So, keep your feelings a secret for my sake. In exchange, you'll do what? The thought saddened me. I squeezed my eyes shut, praying to fall asleep as soon as possible. No, I want to know. There's still one more choice, and it's a save choice, but we're in chapter 2. How many chapters is there? There's 8, isn't there? Yeah, there's 8. There's 8 in the ending, so I feel like we're so far away from the ending of this route, but I'm okay with it. I like longer routes for characters because it feels like there's more character development. And there's only like 4 chapters for, say, Battlefield Walls. I think there's only 4. Maybe there's 3. I don't know. I think there's 4. It feels forced and rushed, and it's just the character development is there, but like the bonding isn't there. I mean, it's not there for some of them. It feels forced. I just have to be patient. I'm an impatient person. My husband knows this. My husband will declare it. The cases of people burning to death was increasing. It seemed this mystery was producing a new victim once every few days. The ones we knew about easily exceeded the number of fingers across both my hands. Most of the deaths occurred in crowded areas. I heard some people talk about how they saw flames burst out of people's Hiyori. Is that a kimono? Probably some kind of clothing. But the answer as to why they ignited suddenly in the first place still eluded us. The Shuriyanui. I heard the term one day when Awayuki and I were investigating around the surf quarter. The topic came up when we were talking to some residents we were familiar with.
うちの区で燃えたやつが実は白縫いの一員だったらしくて。
最近4区の貴族様も燃えたらしいじゃないですか。その方白縫いに協力的だったんで天罰が下ったんじゃないかって話も聞きましたよ。
I didn't know what to make of it all, considering I didn't know what the Shiranui was. My attendant remained silent beside me with a stern look on his face. Awayuki, have you heard of the Shinaryu before?
ああ。反対峙を掲げる連中がそう名乗ってるって聞いたことがある。
Oh, anti-taiju. That means there are a group of people who resent the great taiju. I honestly couldn't believe it. We walked for a short while after leaving the division. I proposed an idea that popped into my head. Say, Awayuki, how about we stretch our legs a bit in the outer district?
どうして？
I've never heard of the Shinari before. It seems to be known among everyone here, but I don't think I've ever heard of it at the Ryue. I was thinking it might be discussed more in the outer district.
だとしても、お前が直接探りに行く必要はないだろう。どうしても気になるなら、Yashiroや露草様に調べてもらえばいい。今日はもうじき暗くなってくる頃だし、寄り道せずに帰る。いいな。
There's still some time until the sun goes down, though. A few nights ago, when I got into an argument with Awayuki on our way home, I felt as if there was an inevitable wall being built between us. I thought we knew each other better than anyone, so it was so frustrating that we couldn't convey to each other how we felt. I think that... Oh. He's too overprotective. Okay. This is the save file. Ah, there we go. I'm like, my plus button isn't working. Okay, save file 2. Alright, we're gonna say I need to do what I can. I want to do what I can without having to rely on anyone else. I looked straight at Awayuki and told him honestly what I wanted. You're with me right now, Awayuki. We can afford a short detour together. Please, can't we? Oh man, that sigh. Awayuki let out a deep sigh.
少しだけだからな。
He gave a faint smile, conceding to my wishes.
知らぬい。名を聞いたことはありますが、何のことだったか。
私は何も知りません。お許しください、お貴族様。
We tried asking around the people in the area, but we couldn't get as much information as I hoped.
橋町まで貴族が来ることなんてめったにないし、警戒されるのも当然だな。反対樹の組織について知ってるなんて言えば、最悪、神隠しに会うかもとでも思ってるんだろう。
I see. With so few opportunities to visit the outer district, I couldn't quite understand what they felt or believed. In the end, our actions essentially just frightened the people here. Maybe I should have just listened to you and asked the other two to do this, sorry.
いい。主人に振り回されるのも従者の仕事だ。
To be pushed around. Thanks, Awayuki. My attendant was usually so strict, but when I made a mistake, he was always so sweet to me. That's adorable. After giving up on investigating in the outer district, we got on the road back home. Oh. Awayuki suddenly stopped, his entire body frozen. It's going to end soon. What's wrong? Did something happen? He has a knife. Just as I asked him. Several men appeared from the shadows and blocked off both ends of the narrow alley surrounding us. They had all their faces hidden, but judging by their clothing, they seemed to be residents of the outer district. Uh-oh.
お前らだな。知らぬいについて探ってる貴族ってのは。
Are they part of it? Dang it. I knew it was gonna happen. The cliffhanger. The moon on a rainy night. It sounds like it might have a good CG to it. I want to keep reading, but this took an hour and a half and I have to edit it. I mean, I guess I have some time. My husband's not gonna get home. Oh, yeah. My husband's not gonna get home until 6, but I have to take my daughter to band and make her eat first. As soon as I saw him with his knife, I'm like, it's going to end. I just know it. Cliffhangers. Well, it was entertaining. I got a little bit bored during the middle of it because they're just, I don't know, they're still investigating. They're going around asking questions and trying to figure stuff out. But we learned that Yashiro is not a resident. He's from the surface, and he lied to us. Still curious about Yori and how that's going to work out. And if Awayuki is going to finally admit that he likes her. Like, he was against the proposal. He said that up front. He pulled her away from Tsuyakusa because he's like, you're too close to her. But I'm enjoying them gradually getting closer together in every episode. It makes it feel like it's natural. It's more natural than some of the other games I've read recently. Anyway, if you guys did enjoy it, drop a like down below and or subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.